What's up, hip hop heads? That's how I'm gonna start the show there. It's Kenny Cummins here. I'm chilling with Kenny C. I'm joined with a well-established hip hop artist, DJ, film director, doing incredible things. And recently, a little over a month ago, this man and his BFF, Shicey Christ, took this project which has been in the vault for over 9 years, and went on to release this project, Gym Rats, Hidden Gems, and to talk about it from his side, from his perspective. I'm joined with Just Me. How's it going, man?
Man, I'm doing well. Thank you for the kind introduction.
Appreciate you, man. This is your second time on the show. The first time was maybe a good 5, 6 years ago.
Yes,
You know,
sir. Yes, sir.
back in the foundation days was still active, obviously. A lot has happened since then, life, family matters, things like that. But man, you have had a busy couple of months, my friend. A busy summer, let's put it that way. Uh, so it's been a little over a month since Jim Rat's project has been released, which, by the way, you can go to jimrats.bandcamp.com to purchase the album digitally or physically. From my understanding, you had cassettes available at the time, and now they're gone. Like they gone.
Yep.
Uh,
Sold all the cassettes.
yeah, the cassettes is gone, but you still can get the physical copy.
Yep.
So they got you covered in that regard. So now that it's been over a month since this Gym Rats project has been released, how do you feel about everything from the process of this being released, from the people's reaction to it? How do you feel about people now getting to listen to this project that's been in the vault for 9 long years? How do you feel about everything that has transpired since the release of Jim Rat's Hitting Gems?
It's been a lot of love. It's been a lot of love, and we appreciate that. And the cool thing is, in this culture of you know uh disposable art, that people are not only listening to it, but like keeping it in the deck and going back to it and listening to it more than once. And that's the goal, to make music that people want to hear over and over again. So it's been beautiful. We've been really happy with the response.
Yeah, I was one of the fortunate ones that got to listen to it a week prior to it being released. I was at the album listing event, and a lot of topics were discussed on that event, and most notably, art was being discussed. I mean, we all have our different forms of expression through art. You obviously, as a hip hop artist, you've done it for a very, very long time. You've been um, very helping hand in the local hip hop community here in Central Kentucky and surrounding areas, courtesy of the foundation with yourself and Shiesty. So when I talked to Shiesty, he talked about how much this meant to him as an artist, as an MC, and the story behind this project is very fascinating because y'all did this 2013, oh,
Yep.
2000, yeah, 2013, and while they're doing one particular studio session, you took a look at them and say, like, what are we doing? And then Shicey responded, man, we're doing the album, we're doing music. That's who we are. That's what we do. And then you have to repeat, just you use different words. Just I'm paraphrasing, like, what are we really doing? So that led to the album just being in the vault.
Yep.
And for nearly a decade, and your fellow member of Scribbling Idiots and a fellow hip hop artist, Cash Meta, played a pivotal role on this project. Not just an executive producer, but he also played a role in saying, "Y'all two need to release this."
Yeah.
So y'all, Meta for a very, very long time. Just talk about his contribution to this project and that moment that you had with him that led y'all to eventually releasing this project.
Yeah, I mean, this is, Kaz is another one of my very good friends, and we've been friends for a long time, and he's been someone who's always encouraged me to, continue to make music, and help out whenever I was working on a project. We just work really well together. We started Scribbling Idiots together, and so we've always been very eh, close and involved in each other's projects. And so it was cool, and that's how it came about, was just sort of a conversation of, we got all this material that we want to work on, and talking about kind of doing new stuff. And I said, speaking of which, I have this stuff, sitting around, and Kaz is one of the most prolific artists that I know, and he's someone who has projects like done and lined up and ready for release, a year or two in advance. And but when I just sent him songs. I didn't put him in any kind of order or anything like that. I just sent him songs and was like, "What do you think? Is there an album there?" And he was like, "Yeah, there's an album there. You guys need to put this out," and we just started talking about, okay, well, how do we do it? Who do we have mix it? Um, and he had D1, who he's been working with for a long time, and once D1 got involved and got his hands on the project, it went from being just a collection of rough draft songs to the polished album that you hear today.
So I had this talk with Shiesty, and people like to throw conspiracies on this project as far as, was this really released in 2013? That was been one of the big questions about this project. And me being the hip hop head that I am, I've listened to it several times, like word for word, bar for bar, trying to catch any wordplay, catch any references, 2013 references. And was one of the notable references was Nick Collison.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a basketball player. Played for the OKC Thunder. I think he played for the Seattle Sonics. So he played around that 2013 year. Um, so I guess that convinced me. Yeah, this was 2013. That's
Yeah,
a
because Nick
reasonable.
Collison is retired now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that reference would be a little dated. That is probably one of the few snuck in there that you got to be ahead to know that.
yeah. So yeah, I wasn't like overreacting or anything. Like I was curious because a lot of artists have had plenty of material that's on the vault, and you really give it a listen. Just this is an amazing project, and I'm glad that you and Shiesty went on to release this project. And back to the album release event I was talking about earlier, um, art was definitely a big topic in the discussion. Everybody has art that's laying around somewhere just waiting for it to be released or viewed to the public. And what it boils down to is, like, if you feel like you have something there, then you go ahead and release it. You go ahead and put it out there. Just make sure that it's in the right hands. Make sure you know you have people that you take, you know, thought to heart per se. So You know, you gotta have
Yeah,
that.
I and thank you, man. I appreciate that. We really want to encourage, we have a great art scene in Lexington, in central Kentucky, and uh there's in all kinds of the arts, in every shape, form, or fashion. In fact, what my wife and I were doing the gallery hop last night around town, and there is we know, being artists ourselves, that we have a tendency sometimes to just sort of put something to the side and say, oh, I'll come back to that, or even just be like, it's not good enough, and put it away. And we just wanted to encourage artists to continue to create, and also to remember that art is timeless. There's no reason to put something away or say this is, too dated, or I've moved on past this. You can brush something off, and that's the thing, is that art is a snapshot of where you were at that time and what the place you were in. And so it's fascinating even to go back and look at an artist's work over a span of time, and see their growth, or see them change their points of view, and that's all part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a lot of people was inspired in that album listening event, and you know, guys like a King Lane G already got projects out. Kevin Cross, who was there, he's got an album on the way. So you know, you got something going here.
Yeah.
So that's what it boils down to. We have a very talented scene, um, not just hip hop, but variety of genres. Anybody that knows me for 7, 8 years now, I'm all over the city. I'm all over the city.
That's right.
It's a good people out there. So to the album celebration at the Borough. Y'all very busy. Y'all been there twice. Yourself and Off Days did a show. I think I was celebrating the vinyl release of a project you did in the past.
Mhm.
And then there was the Jim Rats album release celebration. So having to perform those songs in person for the first time, um, and some of the performers was the features was there in person. Wonder Brown,
Mhm.
all the way from Ohio.
Yep.
I think it was very fascinating. He had an acoustic version of Nas of "The World Is Yours." That was totally mind blowing. Like, who would have thought that you hear an acoustic version of a Nas classic, man?
Beautiful.
That was it was poetic, very very
Yes.
poetic. So Wonder Brown was there. Marcus Wilkinson was there. He's featured on Cold Lampin', which is the first single. So just talk about this that whole show, that whole vibe, and having to celebrate this album release and getting to perform these songs in front of people for the first time.
Man, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful event. It was the right mix of artists, and we had a great time. Lee was wonderful as the MC that night. I mean, there couldn't have been a better MC for the night, and he tore it down with his performance as well with JK. Um, and everyone on the bill killed that night. I mean, and everyone did their thing, and blew it away. It was beautiful. So from Obvious to Kevin Cross, and Corey Fisher, and 13-5, and Anonymous Rose, and uh, and we it was a pleasure for us to put our people on, and see a lot of the guys that frequented the foundation back in the day, and to come back and do this show, and it was a great thing for the city.
It was a foundation reunion of sorts because a lot of performers have come from the foundation, performing, I think, at City Central, one of the places there. I remember going there Thursdays after a long week of work and just going there and just checking out who's out there and who does Just and Shicey got coming, and it was definitely a platform for local artist, hip hop artists. It was one of the very few, right up there with Divine's Brown Sugar, obviously. But it was one of the ones that was a platform for local to work to perform, just to get that confidence booster, to perform in front of a crowd. And one thing you keep teaching the artist is, it's the essence of an MC, which means moving the crowd. So that was one of the best shows I've been at to all year, and I've been in a lot of shows.
You have
Um,
been to a lot of shows.
I've been to a lot. The Borough has become my go-to spot. And I still
It's
go
a
to different
beautiful venue.
places. It's a beautiful video. I told a friend last night that it's like a live music sanctuary. Maybe because of that logo at the stage area, it just felt like a sanctuary, and you getting that atmosphere, man. So that's an arcade for the video gamers out
Mhm.
there, all them old school games that we grew up playing back in the day. So Gym Rats Hidden Gems is out. Gymrats.bandcamp.com. That is the only place you can purchase the whole album,
Yes.
the physical copy, digital copies, and Bandcamp, they are definitely a go-to platform for indie artists, and they've been doing the Bandcamp Fridays since
Mhm.
this whole pandemic. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I mean we're still dealing with pandemic, obviously. The virus is still there, obviously. What's your thoughts on Bandcamp being that lead for indie artists to do something like that, get like put their revenue to the side and say you get 100% of the purchases?
That's a beautiful thing. It's very wise on their part to recognize that they wouldn't exist without the artists, and it's a great platform and tool for artists to use to reach their audience, to find their audience, and then to be able to continually communicate to them and give them an opportunity to support the bands that they like. For an indie artist, it just makes sense. It's a great platform. Um, in fact, there's you look through different ways to go about doing it, and there's something about Bandcamp that makes it so easy for an artist to use it. I sound like I'm doing an advertisement for Bandcamp, but I mean, it's really is like it's a great platform, and the fact that they do that Bandcamp Fridays is beautiful because then they're forfeiting their cut of the income and giving it to the artists, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Bandcamp, and I think my Bandcamp collection has went up since the pandemic because yeah, I purchase stuff on Bandcamp every now and then, but when it was time for Bandcamp Friday, well, I'm gonna buy something, shirt, CD, digital, don't matter. I'll buy something, and 100% of those purchases goes directly towards the artists, labels, etc. So Bandcamp, props to you and everyone that's doing being a helping hand because artists, everybody, we had to sit home on the couch, we had to chill, with family and loved ones,
Yeah.
and so that they did their due diligence with the Bandcamp Friday, and I'm very curious to see how long they're gonna keep doing it, and while we outside again,
Right.
uh, literally. But we'll see. Props to Bandcamp, man, always. So with this album out, and you getting to reflect And we getting to the end of the summer, we getting to the fall, weather's gonna be a lot cooler, and people gonna be in their feelings on the social media about it. Having said all that, man, and with this love that y'all getting for gym rats, I'll just go ahead and ask this question. Can we expect some more music from Just Me in the future? Is this giving you that itch of maybe release more music, whether it's yourself or Shicey? Like, what's the future
Oh
musically
yeah.
wise for Just Me?
Oh yeah. So we have things in the works. Uh there'll be more from Gym Rats. Uh new stuff coming soon. Like, before the end of the year, there'll be even more material coming out. And yeah, I'm working on some new stuff, some other projects with my Scribbling Idiots fam as well. And so yeah, we're keeping busy, and there's definitely more music to come.
Okay, awesome. That's what I like to hear. Uh, so I want to get to the DJ side of things. Now,
Okay.
people know you as a MC, but I've gotten familiar with your DJing on not just on the foundation. You are one of the official DJs for Lexington Comic Con. You've been one of the official DJs for the past several years. How would you describe that experience being one of the official DJs for this premier event that happens every year?
Man, I love it. It is a great time. I love everyone that's involved. And it's just cool to be a part of an event that is for people of all ages, and with a wide variety of interests. And um, so it's cool to go out there and play music for people to just vibe to when they're getting ready to have this great experience of Comic Con. I look forward to that every year. It's a really good time. It's a great event. It's my honor to DJ at those events.
So this past March convention marked the 10th event for Lexington Comic Con. Now, last year would have been 10, but 2020 got canceled because of COVID.
Yep.
So happy 10 years to Lexington Comic Con. I'm there nearly every year, chomping at the bit, trying to get these pictures. All these people I grew up watching, wrestlers, um, cosplayers, actors, actresses. It's very nice for Lexington to get an event like that, for it to continue to keep going at all these years. So that's
A big shout out to Jared Greer for spearheading all that and handling that. It's a big deal.
yeah, props to that guy, and everyone behind the scenes making this happen and keep making it bigger and bigger and stronger. And just keeping people's interest going for that particular event. I'm looking forward to March 2023. That's
Yeah.
coming up. So I think they got the guest announcements coming soon, by the end of the month, and then they're gonna have tickets will go on sale in October, I believe, somewhere mid Octoberish. So get ready for that. Just me. Great to have you back on the show. Thank you so much, man. You've been a very good friend to me for all these years, and I've always appreciate having the brief chats that we have when we be at these shows. And thank you, man, for your contributions to Kentucky hip hop, and thank you, man, just for being you, man, for truly repping the culture, and you and Shicey just being the 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 influencers that inspiring people, man, to release that art, man, because it's you have something there, and sometimes
Absolutely.
it can be discouraging, like you leave it something to the side, and and you look back and wonder what could have been. So the story behind Jim Rats is very inspiring. Consider everything from 2013 to now, and now seeing it being released and seeing the reaction and the overwhelming response that this project's getting. So,
Yeah.
so props to
Thank
you,
thank you,
Chase.
Kenny. Thank you, Kenny, man. It's a pleasure to be on the show. You are omnipresent, brother. It is not an event if you are not there. So, I appreciate seeing you everywhere I go, and
Yeah,
man, I just hope it continues. Thank you, brother.
I'm gonna keep going for as long as I can, as long as I'm breathing, and we'll keep it moving. I'm looking forward to the new material. I got to get Scripting Idiots on the show at some point.
Woo.
Better and anyone that's out there, because a lot of people may not know this. I was an extra in a Scripting Idiots music video. That was like 5, 6 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And you can, yeah, I got maybe 3 5 second cameo at the end, and I'm a tall dude, so I'm on
Yeah,
the
you
left side.
standing out.
I'm not that hard to find. I'm on the left side. So just for people that's curious, you enjoy your night, enjoy the rest of your weekend, just and we'll call past again soon.
Likewise. Thanks, Kenny.
All
Peace,
right,
bro.
you have a good night.
You too.
All right.